Welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast, where we discuss and analyze your favorite marble sports. From JMR Marble League to I'll Go Do tournaments, we'll make sure you never miss the action. All marble sports, all the time, right here on the MSW Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast, episode 100 special, triple frickin' digits. My name is Brendan.
And I'm Commander Wolf.
And he is here in person with me. I cannot freaking believe it. He actually is here. You guys, it's not a joke. It's not a trick. If you're listening in the live chat, you literally will be able to, Wolf, say something.
Hi. I'm here right now. This is not an illusion of your mind.
It's coming through the Marble Guy name on Discord. You'll see the green go up for my name when he speaks too. We're actually in the same room in the same mic. If you go to the YouTube, you can literally see us sitting the frick next to each other. So
this is so crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy that this has happened. It's crazy that this started as a weird idea of mine because I was mad that X Camo didn't work out by a long shot, and we'll get into the story of that. And now my co-host is sitting here in the room with me. We have different staff from the podcast live today. It is crazy. It is there's no other words. There really is.
It's so insane. I've never flown on my own before, and let alone to a state I've never been to before.
Exactly.
And here I am. I did it today.
Yeah, that's pretty big. He flew 1,000 miles to make this happen. We're gonna be having dinner and going bowling after.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna make a whole little event of it. But this is the day that we do this. Before we get into all the reminiscing, and by the way, there's going to be a lot of different ways we're going to reminisce on the past. We're going to have some trivia related to marbles, but also related to the show and the past. We're going to have emails from everybody who decided to write in to talk about it. We're going to have messages from the staff, and we're going to just start, of course, with the story of this podcast, which I'm going to tell with Waff jumping in here and there and Kaysen jumping in here and there. It's going to be great. But I could tell a funny little story in the intro, but this one's already totally going to be a too long episode because of all the reminiscing. So I'm deciding to hold off on that stuff, or at least, you know what? I don't want to. Okay, little story, just little tiny story. I'm gonna hold off on anything big, but I was at the store today and I was buying deli coleslaw something. I don't even like coleslaw. It was for my family, and they replaced. So usually you'd have to take a ticket thing, and then it has a number on it, and then when they call your number, you go up and you talk to them. You're like, hey, I want the freaking bologna. They didn't have that anymore. They replaced them with little screens, so you order electronically, and then they put it in in a place somewhere else in the store. They put it in a cooler, and you pick it up later. And the freaking machines, it just bothered me so much because the freaking machines had an option to register an account. I'm like, why do I need to register an account to buy deli? I don't. It bothered me. And also the people are standing right there. Why can't I just ask them for what I want? Why do I have to put it in this little machine? So that bothered me a little bit today. And then it took way longer for them to prepare it too. It was a 15-minute wait time than if I had just walked up to the counter and asked them. It would have been just a 3-minute for them to scoop coleslaw into a container. So I hate all that. I hate all that weird tedium. I don't need to give you my email to buy deli. I just do not. So that was on my mind today. But we have a lot more important things to get to. No reason to waste time in the intro. Let's go to the news. Johnny Marble, take it away for the 100th episode. Not the 100th time, unfortunately, but the 100th episode of the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast.
Hello, Marble Sports fans! fans, I am Johnny Marble here with MSW for episode 100! What a time to get here. It's been a pleasure to be the host of MSW News for this long into episode 100. May we have 100 more, but for now, we are sponsored by Marble Hotel. Wherever you roll, we'll be there. Let's get into the news. Let's stop dilly-dallying about. Race 11 of Marble Rally Season 5 was incredibly chaotic in more ways than one. Taking advantage of the softer sand, a fan jumped off one of the log bridges and onto the track ahead of the racers, shocking fans and racers alike. The fan was fairly small, so they didn't do much to disrupt the race, and ended up falling to the back of the pack. However, the difficulties didn't end there, as a massive pileup occurred around the halfway point, and while none of the marbles were permanently stuck, it did slow some of them down considerably. And even after getting through all of that, some styles still ended up getting stranded on the side of the track, taking them out of the race completely. By the end, Duct Tape managed to maintain their lead from the beginning and claim first, followed by Cool Moody in the second and Slimer in third. Only one race remains, and the top 6 are the only marbles left who have a shot at winning the title. So, there's no more room left for error. Regardless of who wins though, it's sure to be a truly exciting race. Well guys, that was episode 100 of the news. I've been Johnny Marble, of course, your favorite and most handsome Marble Sports host. Well, besides Brennan and all them, because I mean, they're pretty good too. Pretty good looking too. Hey Brennan, hit me up. I'm just kidding. But guys, thank you for watching all 100 episodes if you have, or just thank for watching any episode. You know, Brandon and them work hard to make the show run, and they work hard to get me the news, and I work hard to read it to you. And it's a big appreciation for just you guys interacting and just watching. You know, we like what we do, and we hope you do too. So, here's to 100 more episodes, and hey, if we're lucky, maybe even 200 more.
All right, we are back from the news. Thank you, Johnny Marble, for episode 100's news segment. I think that's the only part of the show that's really going to have non-show-related stuff on it. It's going to have, like, actual marble sports, right?
Knowing Johnny, I imagine he's going to ad-lib something in.
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to. He might not. We'll see.
Yeah, but it is going to have real marble stuff, right? Because didn't Race 10 just come out or something like that? Race 11 or... Something happened, right?
Yeah, so he'll probably like talk about that, then maybe he'll end it and start and talk about something. I don't know. It's up to Johnny. Johnny, like a lot of the really funniest stuff on the news is always Johnny improvising. So, hello, Marble.
I love that. I love that. Actually, I feel like it's right before I really start from the beginning with X Camo, which is where I want to start when we reminisce today. I want to talk a little bit about the news and how Johnny Marble.
Should we introduce our guest first, though?
I guess we can interview. Do we need to? By the way, the throwback to every single time I start talking with forgetting to introduce our guest. That's happened about 10 to 20 times over the 100 episodes, probably. But welcome, Kaysen, to the show. Kaysen was one of the few staff members who was able to appear live on today's show. Other people will be sending in recorded messages, different staff, so we will hear those later. But Kaysen, thank you for making it today.
Hi, yes, I am here. I will also be editing this episode, so it's going to be very weird hearing me talk again.
Oh, that's going to be interesting, yeah?
I think I edited my episode that I was on, like I actually guested.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, that must be odd to hear yourself talk and have to like judge yourself and then edit yourself out. Oh man. But Kaysen, dude, it's been quite 100 episodes, and I know you've been here quite a while. I don't know if it was 100, but you've been here a long time. You've been listening for a while, and then editing for a while, and dude, I mean, how excited are you, man? How excited are you that we have hit triple digits today?
I know, like I can't imagine like me finding it like in 2019. No, not 2019. Like 2020 and being like, oh, there's a Marvel podcast. What's this about? And then like now I'm just like here editing every week, every other week.
Now you're locked into the whole lore of it. But yeah, anyway, before we really start from the beginning, I do want to mention when the news was being made, and we'll get to the whole little news thing before. There was like tryouts I had 4 different people try out for the news, and Johnny Marble was one of them. And I remember I played them out loud, and there were like 2. Johnny Marble and the guy with the English accent were the 2 that rose to the top as like, okay, those are the best that I really like. And I played them for like my family, and they couldn't decide because the one guy had the really professional English accent kind of news thing, and then Johnny Marble just came in with the hello, and they were just like they couldn't figure. They were like they're both so good in different ways. They're like they love the excitement of Johnny, but. I'm glad we picked Johnny. Well, we didn't pick Johnny. We'll get to that, but I'm glad that we have him now.
Can I just say real quick? It is so much more fun being able to see you in person, like what you're looking like as you do this.
Yeah, because Woff now can see me in person when I do the thing where I turn away from my mic and start yelling at y'all.
Oh my word!
This is crazy. It's surreal. Woff is in camera frame with me. But without further ado. We'll start from the beginning here at the show. So to start from the beginning, we have to go back really, really far to I don't think 2018. Yeah, 2018. We have to go back to 2018 because 2018, towards the end of the year, I had this weird, of course, I've been watching JMR for about 3 years. I'm a real veteran of viewership of that channel. I really am. I started watching about 2015-16, and I had been following JMR for about 3 years at that point. The thing is, I had never used Discord before. I had never done any of that, so I didn't know that stuff exists. I didn't know like there was like you could do that. You can have a community of Discord for marbles. I didn't think anybody else would even want to do that. I thought I was like the only one who like thought about marbles outside of the videos. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna. This is so cool. But I was like, what if I had this crazy fantasy of like me being able to get involved in marble sports, and I was like. How? But I was like, maybe if I just make a team, like come up with a cool team idea and just, maybe come up with a somewhat cool logo and just put it up on Instagram, maybe, and like ping JMR enough, they'll notice that and be like, oh, that team looks pretty cool. That's a cool idea. Let me, I'll throw that into next year's Marble League. Now, knowing how things work now and the committee and everything, that wouldn't have worked. But that's where the journey started. I was like, okay, let me think of a team, make an Instagram page, see what happens. And literally remember, I was working at the supermarket in my town. And I remember it was like one day where whatever the job they had me doing that day, it was just one of those jobs that like was relatively mindless. It was just kind of like walking up and down aisles or something, and so it was one of the things where I could think about other things while I was working, and I was just thinking about different possible teams for JMR. I was thinking about like what could be cool. I was like thinking of a neon team or like a purple team, and I came up with different random names, and I settled on X Camo because I wanted a camo type team. I was like, camo is cool. And I was at the age where camo was really cool. I think camo's cool now, but like it's what it is. It is what it is, right? It's whatever. And I decided, let's have a camo team. I was thinking about the names, and I just decided on X Camo. I don't know why. I was like, let's make it random and mysterious, where like everyone could be like, if this team were to become noticed by the community, everyone would be like, well, what's the X stand for? And then it could run with that. It could be anything. So I was like, that sounds like a fun idea. I made the little Instagram page and just started existing with that. And then at some point, Melikis himself DM'd me on Instagram and invited me to the Discord for JMR. And I was like, oh, well, you can, your team looks cool. You should enter it in our fan team contest. Oh my God. Right. And, Waff, I could see Waff's face. He's like, uh-oh. And I joined the Discord, and that was my first time ever on Discord. That was my first time ever interacting with people online in that sort of matter, which is why I completely fucked it up. I know that's a harsh word, but I really fucked it up the first month or two. Hence a lot of the drama that some of you guys do know about that did ensue. But it was just, you let me in, and I was like, wow, Discord, I didn't even know Discord existed. And I had this team, and I was just like, okay, well, let me name my Discord self X Camo Official to look like I knew what I was doing. And then I found someone to make me a logo after a little time. I was talking to everybody, and of course, when I talked to everybody in the server, I was like, vote X Camo, guys. I mean, come on, man. Like, how could you not? So it was just a whole thing where I was like, my focus was not on the community. It was on JMR, and like, oh wow, imagine if I could get my team in JMR. I only cared about getting my team into JMR. So that's why I was just vote hungry, and I was just like trying to advertise everywhere and get votes, because that's what I was thinking about. That's how it started. That's how I even get into the Discord. Not because I was looking for other people to talk about marbles, which I love doing. We're doing this. I literally have podcasts, but that wasn't my initial intent. My initial intent was to get a team into the JMR videos so that I could feel like I could really even enjoy JMR more, because I'd be like, wow, look, my team's there. So that's how that began. Like, that's why I came in and I only cared about votes. I only cared about advertising, because that was my intent before I even knew Discord existed, before Melicus even reached out. So it still doesn't justify the dumb things that I did, but that's why at least it came on as that. So,
and we can't forget about the legendary X Camo round.
Oh, don't even.
Turtles be sliding, turtles be dying.
Don't even.
I need an accountant.
We sent the turtles to hell.
Oh my
They're
god.
turtling up in their shell.
I mean, it wasn't that bad. It was that can't be found anymore, right?
Oh no, you left it up.
No, it can.
No, wait, I thought I took it down.
I'm pretty sure you
Do I-
left it up.
I literally cannot find. I couldn't even find it when I tried to take it down.
How
did you guys find?
Because you have a separate Reddit account. Remember?
Yeah, I can't even log into that anymore.
I think it's too late.
I think it's like just forever up there.
He's just stuck.
There is
U
a dumb rap
/X Camo Official.
with lyrics.
Oh, you just.
And it's I was like 4 years younger, so I really sounded dumb when I was singing that. I did that because I was stupid, right? And I'm still stupid, but not that stupid.
Still a banger, though.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I will say, I actually should give some background on that rap.
Yes, please.
I mean, might as well. This is the 100th episode. If you guys are here, if you're still here, the rap is not gonna make you go away. All right, if you're still listening right now, then you're in for the next 200. So
dude, my face is hurting already from smiling so
Yeah,
much. This is gonna be a long day.
listen, okay, so there's a rapper I really like on SoundCloud. His name is FMG Mac. That's his little tag. And actually he was the first, like, because of course there was a time where I didn't know rap music existed, or I didn't like ever listen to rap music, because no one comes out of the womb listening to rap music. I think so. But there was that time before I knew rap music, and then there was a time where after I knew, and I was like, oh, this is actually good. And I listen to a lot of different artists now, but I remember one of the first artists I ever listened to where I like, oh, he's actually good. I actually like listening to him. It was FMG Mac. And he has this song called Countin'. Said like that because he doesn't spell it with the G. He just spells it Countin' with a little apostrophe where the G should definitely go. And it's about counting money and other words that I shouldn't say.
I just realized there's a reason why the reveal didn't get the reaction it did. The video wasn't even showing on Discord. No one could see us on Discord.
Oh crap, bro. Okay, we're gonna fix that. Oh, because usually I don't have to go.
Hello, everybody.
Usually I don't have to go on Discord because you do it and I go on the thing.
Oh my gosh. I was like, I was expecting a much stronger reaction when they popped out of the floor, but now I'm realizing the reason why is because no one could see it.
Well, you could see it on the YouTube when that's edited together. Why is the camera not?
Oh my gosh, that's
Oh
hilarious.
boy.
That explains
Now
so
I'm
much.
I'm the bad guy for not syncing up my audio. It's not even video.
Oh, don't even start. This is all gonna be edited out, maybe.
It seems that Discord is not wanting to load the camera. Well, let's keep going.
I'm gonna keep going, and maybe it'll load
eventually.
in a year. So anyway, and remember, guys, this episode, just go to the YouTube. This is one of those ones you should be on the YouTube for. And we're live on the YouTube now, so if you're in this chat, you should also be watching along on the YouTube, because then you can see everything. But anyway, so that song I really liked by that artist. And so I actually took all the beat and half the lyrics from that song when I wrote the X Camo rap because I just really liked it.
Jason found it. It's right there.
Do not post that. Can you actually I would appreciate if you did not post that there. I want people to have to at least put in the work to go find it themselves.
Okay. Right.
Like, because it's kind of embarrassing. I just don't care. I care a lot less about things now than I did like 3 years ago. So I'm like, whatever. But like, at least have to put in some pain. Okay. But yeah, so that's how that happened. So I wrote that song. I sang it. It was just because, I don't know. I thought by like singing a rap song, people would be like, oh, well, X Camo's cool, so let's vote for them. I don't know. It was weird. So that happened. Now where were we? So so that's the fan team competition, and it caused a lot of other drama. I was very headstrong, and it was a mess. So some people developed a little bit of a disliking for me, for sure, which most of that has been worked out by now. There's only a couple people that still hold out on liking me in the community, and I mean actually like two, and the only reason that is because of the later stuff with Fubeca. That's really what kind of sent them over the edge on that. So it's literally like two people, and everybody else has come around. They know that I'm not the same asshole I used to be. I'm a rank up, as it may be.
As long as worked with them for 2 years, over 2 years now, I can say that yes, you are very different than you used to be.
Growth. That's what I say. That's what I think. Never stagnate is one of my life mottos, and that applies to personality and growing as a human in like your interpersonal relationships, as well as of course in your the non interpersonal stuff, like making money. Never stagnate in that either. Always get better. But yeah, so that went, and then the fan contest vote came, and I didn't even get second or third or fourth or fifth place. I got like third to last, just over teams that were like very clearly not gonna make it because their logos were not as high end as some of the other ones. So it was a really good realization for me, and that was probably the first time, like, that was like a really big learning experience for me, that like that sort of way to act, where I was like focused only on votes and only on trying to get people to click X Camo, and not trying to relate with the community and make friends with people and focus on that aspect. How negative and bad that can be. And that began like a real shift in perspective for me over the next year or two, as far as like how I viewed that kind of behavior. And that's why like now I sit here and really do criticize Dion and really not like what he's doing, when like 3 years ago I probably would have not really had as much of a problem with what Dion's doing right now. So it's been a huge perspective switch for me. But yeah, unfortunately, like this is still just me because WAF hasn't entered the picture yet. But here we go. So that happened. I lost. I was sad. I had to make some huge personal changes, of course, with myself and how I acted with other people. And there was a lot of making up with some people to do. So I mean, that all slowly occurred. But I had an idea. I was because X Camo didn't work, so I was like, what if, because I always wanted a podcast. I'll start there. I always wanted a podcast, but I didn't know what to talk about. And I was like, if I just do a podcast where I just talk about nothing, then it'll be kind of boring for me, and I won't really know what to say. And I feel like then no one would really listen, because there's not even any point to a podcast where I just talk about my life, because who kind of gives a shit about my life? Let's be honest. Like, I'm just another guy. Waf's very quietly trying to drink water. Oh my god, it's funny. So I just I completely lost my thought with you in the water. I'm so
Lots
sorry.
of visual gags for this one.
Yeah. So anyway, man, I really did. The water thing really got me, because I was like focused on how quietly you're doing that, and I was like, that's funny.
Man, if we did an episode live together every single week, we would never get it done.
Oh, we would never. How would we ever like end the episode? How? Like, this one's gonna go way too long.
Oh yeah, Case. By the way, like I know, like I know you haven't answered the story yet, but feel free to interject like I do if you have something to say.
No, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just quietly drinking my water as well.
A quick aside before I continue with the story. Kaysen has been a really fun part of the show. I mean, he's been an editor, which is really nice. But he also, like, he has a knack for, like, making really good memes and, like, really finding the humor in things. So some of his, and I feel I have definitely like learned from him. I kind of watch like how he does some of his jokes, and I've put that into play in other places. So thank you, Kason, for teaching me some of the humor stuff.
All right.
But
Thanks.
some of the ways you just like find humor in things or make things funny, or like the way like we all know what the joke's gonna be, but the way you present the joke with the meme, or the way you say the way you arrange the words, you just have a good knack for that. I don't know many people. I know like one or two other people like that. So it's been a really fun part of having Kason on the show. So back to
thank you.
the you're welcome, Kason, of course. It's so cool to have Kason respond to me when I say that. But back to the story. So I decided I want to have a podcast. There's a lot of other stuff I could go to before I get to the podcast. I could talk about the Discord, how I set up, the different people I talk to. Like actually, MFA, who used to half host on the show, actually was one of the first people to join the Discord, and he was a part of setting up Xcamo. I made Instagram accounts for each of the different marbles, and different people ran those actually, and different people, which I believe one of the guys who ran those account is now the owner of Polyonics in the Racing Marble League. So quite a lengthy journey for that. I mean, there's just a lot of different things with the Discord and how that all went out, but that's a lot of extra detail. The point is I lost, and the point is I did it very wrong. And I wanted to try the podcast, so I did. And I did a sneak peek first because I wanted to see if people even thought it was even okay. So I sat down with my headphone mic and talked for 5 minutes about the Green Ducks. That was the quality of the first 5 minutes ever. Headphone mic, I sat down, I had a ton of notes too, because I was like, I didn't know what I wanted to say. I didn't know what character I wanted to assume yet, and what kind of flow and focus I wanted to have. So I had a ton of notes, and actually that was in episode 1, 2, and even 2 to 3. Actually, for the first 5 episodes, I just had a ton of notes in a notebook of like what I wanted to say and what I wanted to mention. Now I just kind of like, I'm just like, yeah, but wing it, but like I don't want to say wing it as if I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's kind of like I've done this enough where like I can hold in my mind the stuff I want to talk about, and I can talk about a few points long enough and in depth enough and sensibly enough that I don't have to have every stat written down, because I'm not going to run out of words, because me and WAF really can focus in usually on a few things like track design or, red number 3 or whatever. So, first episode came out. It was okay. I over-advertised that episode. Okay, I really did. But it did come out, and I actually did attract some listeners and some guest opportunities. There is a trivia question coming up in the segment about who was the first guest, and I don't remember. So when we get there, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I guess mention that like I remember you advertised it in the MSPN Discord, and that's when I found it. And so I actually checked it out from the very first episode. I saw the preview, and I listened to it, and then I actually listened to the very first episode. Like that's why I didn't just discover it later. Like I was there from the beginning, following the show. It's like did
you listen to all first 5?
I did. I've listened to them? I found it funny. Like this guy is like taking his marbles seriously. I love it. It's great. This is amazing roleplay.
Now look what you're doing.
I know what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing.
Oh my god, man, that's so cool. I didn't know that you listened to the first 5, and I guess that's why you were so willing to guess, because you were like, sure, this is funny. Actually, this is a good time to ask. Well, Kason always live. What was the first? Do you remember what the first episode you listened to was? I mean, I'm assuming you probably heard a couple.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go back and look. It was sometime. I remember I was outside and I was just like looking on my phone at like Marvel stuff. Like I think it was around when Marbula 1 was first announced.
Oh, wow.
So I'm gonna have to find out when you guys first talked about that.
Oh,
that's a good question.
It was
I don't know.
It was after Greg Woods.
It was after Greg Woods,
which
yes.
was 25, by the way.
24 was Greg Woods. 25
25
was the special. Remember when we had animations?
Yeah. Oh, we'll get to there.
Oh yeah, we got of course.
Shout out Piney, man.
Always shout out Piney.
So yeah, I guess if you happen to remember, just let us know. So around probably 30, I'd say, right?
It says MSW podcast number 20, Marbula 1 Q&A with Melicus.
Oh, that might have been it. Oh, did you listen? Oh, a lot of people caught the Melicus episode, so you probably did catch that.
Yeah, that was probably
Then
that
what
was
do you
my
think?
first one.
Like first time ever hearing MSW and me and I guess Waf was there at that point, of course. So what did you think? What did you think of the show? Like were you like cool? I want to be a part of this. Cool, whatever, or like or like what were you thinking?
First time listening, I was more like, I was just shocked that like I had just found, maybe not just found, but like recently got into Marble Olympics and the Marble League, and well, those are the same thing. Got into JMR, and all of a sudden, like, there's a podcast about it, and now I'm listening to it, and I was like, okay, I can get into this. So then I think it was around that time that I got into the Marble base, and then from there found this server, the MSW server, and then it all kind of dominoed from there.
Yeah,
But I was
It
blown
went
away.
downhill.
like I can't remember. I think I remember like it's kind of like how I was in the after shows. I think you stayed there a lot, and like then we talked a whole lot, and I think that's where like our friendship kind of started to grow, and like that, and then we kind of like talked like every week basically. And I think that's what I don't know, but like if that had any effect on like your involvement in the show, but like that it was just kind of crazy how that all happened.
Yeah, and how like just the slow progression of you being there and then being there more than editing. You're a reason now. You are actually part of the big reason that we're still doing this. So it's really cool to me how it kind of started with you just scrolling through your phone and being like, I want to hear what these motherfuckers have to say about Marvel 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, truthfully, that's really what it was. So that's very cool. So we flip back over to the beginning here. And like I said, episode 1, ton of notes. It was a mess. It was a headphone mess. And we progressed. We had a bunch of different guests on. I remember Nova Wolf being a part of that, and Stinth app came on at one point, and Dark. No, I don't think Dark Archon came in, but the Red Pandas guy, I believe he came on for an episode.
He did.
Never heard from him again, and maybe he's still around and I can find him, but he was a pretty fun guest. But then number 6, Commander Waff came on, and I remember.
Who's that?
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder. He sounds very handsome though.
Mr. I guess he was Commander Waff back then to me, so I'll call him Commander Waff for this part. He came on.
You actually
and
pronounced my name correctly that
was
first
it
time.
5 or 6?
It was 6. Yeah, it was 6. I guess,
You
like,
tell this. You
all right.
talk.
So
You do
basically,
that.
I remember listening to the show like on like when I was going to school and like just finding it very hilarious and talking about like hey, guess you on the show if you want. And you know what? I'll go ahead and like as a guest. And
Took
so
a
I
chance.
came on. The audio quality was awful. I also used like the basic head like earbuds that come with an iPhone. It was bad, but like it was so much fun like talking about like. I had a smile on my face by the entire time, almost like what's happening right now, like talking about like how the Midnight Wisps, like, were they trying to sabotage the Raspberry Racers when they knocked their podium thing into their track or whatever,
Right.
And like it was just so much fun, and like I guess I not to get too dark, I don't want to like just because I don't want to bring the mood down, but like that was in 2018. Wait,
2019.
So it was only a few months after for a long time listeners, you know, my lung collapsed at one point, and like that definitely changed my perspective on life, and I wanted to be more outgoing and really like make my life worthwhile, and like I went, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I took that opportunity to like because normally I would never have like done something like this, but like, you know what, this sounds like it'd be fun, and I don't want to regret it, so I took that opportunity, and like look, this is where I'm here at now.
He's sitting in my house right now. Okay, he's sitting in my house.
Like
this is my house. This is the house I live in. He's here. What? Come on, man.
Like this, like
stop playing.
Like it is no exaggeration to say that the podcast you created changed my life forever. Like I've made like I became a part of a really great community. I met so many incredible friends. I make content like every week about talking about things that should be incredibly ridiculous, but they are ridiculous, but we take it so seriously, and it's just so much fun, and like it's so great. Like, I think what really surprised me was like on that episode, like I was so surprised with just how much fun I had with it. And like I think even after we recorded that, you actually told me like, you know, it'd be kind of cool. Like, would you consider being a like a co-host? Like
it was not after that one. I'm pretty sure it was not after that one. Because I remember there was a guest that was supposed to come on for either 7 or 8, and they couldn't. And I was like, okay, but I want a guest for this episode. Waff didn't suck. let's try him again. And I was like, oh, can you fill in
that's
for
right,
this guy?
that's right.
And I think then it was like, damn, he was good for 2 episodes. He was he knew what he was talking about marbles.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe I should do a co-hosting thing.
And like you could really tell it's like, cause like episode 6 was the first episode over an hour, and there's a reason for it. There was an immediate connection in our personality somehow, and then you see in episode 7 it's over an hour, but then episode 8, like not to diss Stynth or Flair because they guessed the episode, but it was significantly shorter, and shorter is not necessarily bad, but I think it definitely indicated like just that like there was not that same natural chemistry with them that you had with me that just somehow existed there. And then it's back to episode 9 and suddenly it's over an hour again, and then like and we were considering like it's almost 2 hours, like, and it's like okay,
and then we had to do part 1
then we did part 1 part 2.
God.
Oh my gosh, dude, we've come so far. Like, and I think like this like I just enjoyed it so much more and more, and it's like okay, by the time I guess it like for like the
4th time maybe.
I said 6.
You
7,
were host
9,
10.
I host. After guessing 3 times, it's like, you know what? Okay, I this is fun. Let's do this. And I became the half host. Not the half host, the co-host.
Yeah,
the host of the show.
For some reason.
The co-host of the show on episode 10, which is also the episode that we had Hershey on, which was it was just a monumental.
And
episode.
that was also the Marble Chaos Theory.
The Marble Chaos
episode.
Theory.
And we'll get to that in a second. I'm gonna re-talk about that. Because that's probably the most important theory that we've ever discussed here, that we've ever come up with and discussed on the show, and we'll get to why. But yeah, that was kind of it for me too. It was like, wow, this guy compared to all the other guests were good. Like they weren't bad. They had their moments and they were good. But podcasting is not for everybody on the planet. That's why only some people do it and some people listen. And I just felt like with WAP, it was like he really like. He's more into this, not necessarily more into it, but like as far as talking about it, he's more into it. And as far as like talking with me and knowing where I'm going with a topic and thinking in a similar way, like not in a similar way where he always thinks what I think, because trust me, he does not. But in a way that like he always like kind of knows where I want to go with a topic when we're talking about, let's say we're talking about track design and things like that, or Raspberry Racers and the Midnight Wisps was the big controversy of the time. Like where we always would go in a similar direction, and we'd build on that, and we ended up in this weird discussion of odds. One episode 2 is like episode 8 or something. It was
not 8 because I wasn't on 8. That was one episode I wasn't on.
Oh, okay, I forget which one, but we went into some crazy places and when we started, and I was like, this is the kind of guy I'd want to host with. We then, of course, 2 episodes went, and then 10 was when I decided, of course, to bring him on as host. 10 is a very important episode. That was the first time we had Hershey on, who also has been a huge part of the show because he guests here and there, and he always brings a very nice perspective in the world of marble sports. He always brings a very grounded perspective in the world of marble sports, so he's a really good guest to have on. One of my favorites for sure. And we brought about one of my most memorable topics as a base knowledge when talking about marble sports, and it's Marble Chaos Theory, which I guess the basis of that theory is that because that was along the discussion of one of the early discussions of what makes good marble sports. Like, why is JMR exciting to watch, but TY Domino Guy is not as exciting to watch? Look up the channel if you want to. When I talk about broadcasting, that name will come up again. But the basis is that...
I guess, should I quote it? Because it was the very first Write That Down as well.
Okay, yeah, you can quote it.
So... Hershey says, it was there to create chaos, not let chaos happen. And then Brendan follows up with, that's a great point. If you create chaos, then it's not really chaos, is it?
It's not.
I'm sorry, I got something in my throat. Jeez.
Getting choked up there.
Oh, yeah, it's so emotional. I mean, I probably will be, dude. This is...
You're leaning a little bit on the mic
yeah,
there. Make sure you're leaning in.
Yeah,
I keep forgetting to do that, too.
Kaysen might have to do some audio gain things with us.
Kaysen can do it. He's a master.
Kaysen's a wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can address me directly when you want me to edit something.
Exciting.
I'll forget, but you
but yeah, that was the beginning of the Write That Downs. The Write That Downs basis was pretty much, I heard something that felt really fun and interesting or funny to say, and I was like, I want that to be remembered. I want to look back and be like, wow, that's cool that we said that. And so I started to write that down for that memory.
It was meant to be a serious thing, and then it just kind of devolves
became-
into
yeah,
silly
it became-
quotes. Mostly silly quotes. Like, what was the second one? Marbles must spread over the whole world, from the darkest corners of the earth to the biggest of cities. Marbles will bring people together forever. Brendan, that's silly, but a little
I think
serious.
I said that.
You said that.
I feel
Yeah,
like I'm not like super
that was episode.
positive usually like
I
that.
didn't I didn't quote episodes yet for that one. I don't. I think that was probably. I think that was a 12. That's a 12 quote. That sounds like a 12 episode 12.
Yeah,
Brendan.
we'll talk about 12 in a moment. But I mean, the basis of Marble Chaos Theory is that if you when you're making Marble Sports, if you create a situation where you allow for maximum chaos, but you don't force maximum chaos, then you are creating good and interesting Marble Sports. What that means is in essence, you don't want to put things down on the track that kind of like let's say you're doing a race and you put a Plinko board down. That's a perfect example of forced chaos, because what you're doing there is you're like, okay, I'm gonna make the marbles go through all these weird collisions and things like that, and that kind of gets boring because you kind of know what to expect. Instead of like just building a track, like for example, Marble Rally and the dirt races were really good for this because they would kind of just build a track, and the track would kind of have parts on it that would cause chaos. Marbles leaving the track, marbles would collide and like get stuck, and that stuff couldn't be predicted or I guess just predicted or just kind of preempted when you built the track, but it kind of just happened because you let it happen. You created situations where marbles were allowed to knock into each other, were allowed to collide, and so because of that, the chaos kind of just happened naturally. And when you're watching a race and crazy things happen like that, then you're pulled in. You're like, wow, wait, marbles fly off track, chat. Marbles knocking into each other, damn. As opposed to something like a TY Domino guy, which just has the single file track with a couple of the funnels, and you don't have a lot of chaos there. You don't have a lot of room for chaos there. And so it's that JMR's ability, one of the early things that we noticed was their ability to let that kind of organic chaos happen in different events. Like, even something as simple as long jump, just the fact that you're letting the marble be airborne for so long, and anything can happen when the marble's airborne, and that kind of step forward in Marble Sports is why what made JMR so good, what makes them so good, and why what we identified as an early that's a necessary part of good Marble Sports. That purposeful creation when you're building Marble Sports to allow for organic chaos.
And I think a great example of that is today's episode of Marble Rally, because where a fan jumped onto the track.
I haven't watched it yet. Sorry.
Well, there was in the race, a fan jumps onto the track.
That's great.
And instead of just restarting it, it's like, let's just roll with it. Let's just go with this.
Let's just roll with it. See what he did there?
Roll
Uh-huh.
it.
Yeah, get it. Kaysen got it.
Ricochet.
No.
We said it at the same time. We will get to Ricochet. I forget when that became a thing. I forget what episode was the first Ricochet episode, but we'll get to that stuff a little later. So,
My word.
So anyway, that's when Waff came on as host. That was episode 10, and that was cool. And Marble Chaos Theory, we left that episode feeling just awesome. And it kind of got better after that. We got Melikis on for the first time in 11, and that was a two-parter because
we test run the two-parter, and then we realized, we did that, and then we did it for 11 as well, I believe.
No, 11 was the only two. Oh, it was 10.
Oh, so 11.
I don't think it was just
12. So on 12, we had Beta Wolves for a first half, and then we actually had Nova Wolf for a second half. But we lost both of them.
Did we?
Yeah, we lost both of them. I remember listening back to it. Brendan's like, okay, and by the way, guess we lost. Guess we'll have this thing with Nova Wolf, and then I think I came in with hey, Ray, Wolf from the future here with that little warp thing, and it's like,
I love that. I love the Wolf from the future.
I actually got to use it recently, but we actually lost our audio from Nova Wolf too. So, oops.
You lost both wolves?
Yeah,
yes.
man.
Yes, we did.
And Nova Wolf got an episode
Wow.
3, so this is okay.
And at that point, we realized, there's no point in actually making a two-parter. Let's just condense it to 1 hour, or at least a little, just not super over an hour.
Yeah. So, to continue on, because I mean we're at 45 minutes right now, and I if we get this one done in 2 hours, I'll be happy. Waff's
there's a lot of mistakes in there that will be cut out, so I think it will
get down to about. I think it's gonna end about an hour and a half, hour 45. Listen, maybe maybe you guys do a self two-parter on this one, and because this one's a big one.
Making timestamps is gonna be a nightmare for me.
Oh, I
Jeez.
can't wait. I love how WAF has to do that and I don't. But anyway, so to continue on, episode 10, episode 11, we had Melikus on. And that was big for me. I don't know. I mean, it was big for WAF too, but it was especially big for me because the goal of the podcast was to really put my name on the map. Of course, well, the initial goal was to put my name on the map in Marble Sports. Like, wow, wait, what does Marble Guy have to say about this week? Let's go find out. So getting Melikus to guess where he's like, well, he was like that third member. You know, there's Yella, there's Dion, and then that third member is Melikus. So he's like almost as famous. At least in the inner community. So getting him on was a huge deal. That episode got a ton of freaking views. It was great. And it was just so cool to have someone who actually ran the thing on to talk about how they run the thing. So that was fun. And I don't know, it was cool. I felt great being able to make something like that happen. Like I'm like one step away from talking to Yella himself, and only a couple months ago I was freaking with the X camo, and you know, it was already a little journey for me. So episode 12 came. Episode 12 was our first huge fail.
Oh yeah, and it haunts me to this day. Like I can't even remember what we talked about. I just remember that we had a lot of fun talking with Beta Wolves, and that like it was gonna be one of my favorite. It was definitely gonna be probably one of my favorite episodes. And then her audio was corrupted, and we just lost it all. Yeah. And then like I actually went back and listened to some old episodes, and I re-listened to episode 12 to see how it was. Like there were definitely some like I think it was interesting to see us like ad-libbing. I think it was definitely humorous at times, but I also definitely could see like how I think your humor evolved like from then to now. Like it was definitely like back then you were definitely more crude, and like some of the jokes was like
yeah, for sure. Because like I didn't build my character in the podcast, and a lot of my podcasting. Well, there's a lot of things that's changed about me, though, in the past couple of years, so it's kind of, to talk about my humor, like, listen, I still find a lot of crude things really funny. I listen to comics like Bill Burr, who are very crude. I watch things that I find funny. But a couple things changed. First of all, I understood better my character on the show, on the podcast about marbles. Another thing is that a lot of the words that I used to use and the things that I said, not necessarily, well, some of them I don't find funny anymore, but some of them I still do find funny, but I kind of started to change as far as like, okay, there's a difference between me finding it funny and everybody else finding it funny, and I started to gain a respect for other people enough to be like, okay, I'm not going to say these types of things around other people because I know they don't find it funny, or they might find it offensive, and even though I don't. So I've been really like 2 years, like night and day as far as difference between me 2 years ago and me now as far as caring about what other people think and stuff. And do I still think there's a lot of bullshit with oversensitivity? Yes, I do. I'll say it right out here in the show. There is a lot of people in the world, and WAF's cringing right now, but I'm going to say it. There's a lot of people in the world who are oversensitive. But do I think that it's nearly to the degree that I thought 2 years ago? No. I think that most of the time people who are oversensitive about things, the general public thinks that they're oversensitive, not just me. I think like and that's like usually the good bellwether. Like if other people are also like, okay, yeah, the guy's being a little oversensitive about that, then they probably are. But if it's just me saying it and everyone's like, nah, I think that's fine, then I'm wrong. Okay, I'm wrong. So just knowing to tone it down a little bit. I mean, I still have a little bit, of, let's just say I'm not super liberal. I'm a lot better than I was, a lot more, I guess, more progressive than I was 2 years ago, for sure, and a lot more respectful, I think, of other people, for sure. Episode 12 became episode 12 because we lost both audios, and it was like midnight, but I was like, I won't be able to record for another week, so we have to get an episode out.
Oh, I know. Sorry, Nova Wolf's audio was from episode 13 with Xander. Xander was going to be a two-parter too, but because Nova Wolf was the second half. Oh. I guess I remember I listened to episode 13 too because I love the Zombie Xander episode a lot.
I love that episode.
It's a great. Again, it still has some of our. We're still very not as good at podcasting things, so it is a bit harder to go back and listen to. But like, it is still a great episode for newcomers to Marble Sports to listen to. But I remember like going near the end and it's like. You mentioned like, okay, we're gonna have like Nova Wolf on next, and then like I come in, it's like, oh hey, actually no, we lost it, oops, and then we come back in, and then we have the bing bong boop beep boop doop, 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 doop.
Oh my god, I remember that now.
I
That was
still
so
have that.
good.
I made that into the outro song, and then even Melkus was like, "Nice, Wolf, nice."
That was
like,
great. That was actually really awesome. I remember that. And oh man, there's so many. Like as we go back, there's so many things to talk about.
dude. Yeah,
But-
but it's getting so long. We might actually want to like just condense eras, like I guess like the seasons.
No, yeah, well, there's a lot less to talk about after the first 20 because then it's just like we just podcast every week.
Right.
But like, I mean, this one's gonna be cut down though. So if you're listening live, you get the full experience. The end of it, I'm gonna make Kaysen keep this under 2 hours pretty much. So
We'll see.
He's gonna just sit down and cut things
We're
out.
almost at
okay?
an hour now, but that's just with the raw recording. There's
Yeah.
already some mistakes to be cut out.
There's
so
a
we'll
ton
see.
of things.
This is the episode 100 Snyder cut.
Yeah, exactly. But so basically, episode 12, we had to record at like midnight or something because we lost audio, and that was the first time me and Waff were like sitting there like, what do we do? But we still lasted an hour, and that was like so
Yeah.
cool. Like we lasted a full hour talking, and we talked about random things.
You had this bit where like it is now currently such and such time on such and such day on the Marble Sports Worldwide podcast, like every 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, I remember that. It was actually kind of a funny bit if you were there.
It was a
today.
little funny.
It was
I'll give you
okay.
that.
Zombie Xander.
Oh man.
The reason he's important is because he and they don't do this anymore. Unfortunately, they stopped at episode like 70 something because of their own lives got busy. I don't think they restarted. I have to.
They
go
have not.
check.
I checked on them.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Nice. They did the Fortnite Champions podcast, and I used to play Fortnite back when I started this podcast a lot. I don't play anymore, but I used to play a ton, and so I listened to that podcast a lot, not just because it was fun to hear them talk about Fortnite and go through the patch notes, but it's also fun to hear them be them and like kind of go on tangents and just let themselves be themselves. And I listened to them and I was like, wouldn't it be cool if I could go on there and do that with them? And so I actually was able to guest on their show one time. I did. I forget what episode it is. You'll find it because it's in their title. I think something about marbles in their title. But it was about like 10 episodes into my podcast. I guessed it on theirs. And it went okay. It was definitely to me it was terrible compared to
I haven't
now.
re-listened to it. I did listen to it one time, but I don't remember how good it was or not.
It was, listen, obviously I'm a lot better now. So
Yes.
but it wasn't terrible and they didn't hate me. So it was all right. And my mic quality was still not great. Cuz remember a quick aside for mic progression. Headphone mic was first. Then I went to this $30 mic. It was like a condenser mic, so I had to buy an audio interface with an XLR cable.
A $30 XLR mic is not a good one.
Yeah, but it was I forget what it was like Zingu or something, or brand was like Zingwu or Zing2 or something like obviously sketchy, but it still worked. It was still better than the headphone.
True.
So that was okay. And then it went to the blue snowball, which actually was given to me because I was trying to find a better mic, and then one of the people at my school gave it to me because they said they weren't using it. It was like one of the teachers, and they were like, you can borrow this. I still have it because the COVID thing hit, so I can never return it. So I still have it over there. Yeah. If you look on camera, I'm pointing. It's literally in that box. I could go get it at some point maybe. And then of course it became the Blue Yeti when I started to do live streaming and YouTube stuff, and I continued to move up. No, I bought this way before the live streaming stuff, but it ended up working out for that.
Yeah,
too.
like I stuck with the snowball for so long, and I always heard about how like XLR mics are better, but I was like watching like videos comparing the two, like from like this really good I think it's like a good tech channel who
Right.
but like the thing is like whatever they were doing, they always sound. Yeah, I'm sorry. It always. I'm sorry, Case, and this is gonna be a bit difficult, but it always sounded like I could never really tell a big difference between them. But then when I finally caved and bought my own XLR mic and compared the audio quality of my own setup. It was night and day. It's like, why is it I could know? I was like, I wish I had someone actually did it properly so I could know that it was this big of a difference. I was using that snowball for years.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think it lasted 2 years. I did it just before I could say plural there. So, but for most of the podcast life, I used that snowball, and I realize now that I should have just upgraded a whole lot sooner.
Yeah, and I mean the snowball was still good enough, so I mean it worked out, but it was when Waff got the upgrade and came in for the first time, I knew. I was like, damn, Waff, you sound like better. So, good job. Thank you. He also sounds good today because my Blue Yeti is kind of good.
It's all right. It's good. It's good. It's a good mic.
I would say it's probably
For USB. It's probably about as good.
It
as you
actually
can
is
get.
the best USB mic on the market, but I'm fine with it. I guess I could use an XLR, but I don't care. It's fine. What else? Okay. There's a lot else, but okay. So yeah, so I guested on the Fortnite Champions podcast. So I brought Zombie Xander on from the podcast. So I returned the favor of the guesting, and so he was a blast to have. He was more experienced. You'll hear him compared to us is a lot better.
I remember. What's a Marblade?
oh my
Oh
god,
my
because the Marblades
God.
thing. I
Dude,
remember Marblades.
It was so fun having a new fan to Marble Sports on, just so we can explain all these cool things.
Right.
And it gave a perspective to people who are gonna be new to it, who are gonna ask the same questions. That's why it's such a great introductory episode. Even if we are not as good back then by country mile, or even sound as good, like it's still
if you want information,
it's one information. That's one of the best episodes, if not the best episode to start on for a newcomer.
Absolutely, for sure. So and then episode 14, I was on vacation, so it was the first episode WAF hosted.
That was the So when I did that, I realized like looking back on it now, I'm like, maybe I'm not less critical of myself. I'm not saying but when I saw it for the first time, I was like, oh, a short episode under an hour, I must mean I didn't do good. And now I notice it's just different. Like a long podcast is not necessarily a good podcast, but like for me at the time, it's like, okay, this wasn't good. So I had a joke in my head. Is like, okay, you know what? I gotta make this somewhat entertaining. And so it's like, and I made it. It's like, this is gonna be embarrassing, but I'm doing it anyway. And I did a cover of the Revenge Minecraft parody of Usher's DJ's Gotta Fall in the
That was
Love.
the first WAF tunes ever.
That was the beginning of the Wolf Tunes. Yep.
Yeah, and he's done a lot of
origin.
WAF tunes since then.
The origin story. Like he
was filler content for an episode he knew he couldn't host.
That was also S-Man's episode that he guested, which was one of our other editors who unfortunately couldn't be here. But like
he's here in the live chat.
Oh, that's right. He's in live chat, but he couldn't record with us.
Oh no, he's not here anymore.
Oh yeah,
he left.
that's
he probably
shit.
popped in. Oh, he popped in for as long as he could.
Yeah. So but S-Man, he is one of the long. I think he's been there since the beginning too. Like he always said back then I'm the biggest fan. He was not lying. He was there for pretty much most, if not every live episode. And he wanted to guest for so long. It's like, okay, well, I finally found the opportunity, and so we guested together. And I felt so bad that his first episode was so bad.
I think you really pushed for him to guest, because I was like, I'm not gonna be here, so why? But I was like, okay, I think I was thinking though, but maybe S-Man you and him would make for a decent episode, because I wouldn't be there, as opposed to you having to do it by yourself, and then we'd have to put it off. Because I did a 15-minute aside to throw in there where I just talked to myself about marbles for 15 minutes, and that was the first time I did do an episode by myself, but I don't remember which one that was.
It was the second Melicus episode. I remember that. I wasn't there. I went to church.
There was an episode that I did completely by myself.
Oh, completely by yourself.
I don't remember which one that was.
That'd be the first one.
No, it was somewhere between 30 and 70. It was just one I had to do by myself.
What?
And I actually I sat there and talked crazy. Kason, you remember this, right? You were there for that. You were in there for a part of the time, or at least you were. S-Man was.
I vaguely remember.
I sat there and rambled myself for.
Now I'm just super curious. What
Yeah.
have I forgotten?
But yeah, so I was a little worried about how things go. Can I give my honest opinion?
Sure, go ahead.
14 was bad.
It was. That's why I did the Wolf Tune. That's why I did the Wolf Tune.
The Wolf Tunes were really good, and that's something that will definitely continue forever.
Oh, forever and ever, my friend.
WAF should never host a podcast. Well, maybe you could now. Maybe you could now. I
think it's you are I am definitely more. I definitely Well, okay, I guess we're gonna bring up the Dion episode. So, but I'm not really a fan of that one because it was very unpositive. It's not what I wanted to spread with the show, but it was very important. It's easier.
I'm a big fan of that show.
It is probably our most important episode we've done, and you could tell, and at a certain point, I just took the reins as basically the head of that episode, and it's because I took I took notes. I was
you had a lot.
And it was less. I think for the first time ever, a good way to compare is on normal episodes, you are much more entertained because it's more of an entertainment based podcast. Whereas but then on the informative podcast, that's a form of on that
episode 100, he still doesn't know how to be speaking.
Yeah. On episode 94, it was a very much more. It was not really about entertainment. It was about information and informing the audience. And and because I think I really saw how much I shined in that moment. I think I'm just better at informative content than I am at like being silly and entertaining. And I've been trying to be silly one. I've been trying to be better at it. You
get like a micrometer better every episode. No, you do get a little. You get a little bit better every episode.
But yeah,
sure.
like I think that's just the difference. Like I'm just better inherently at informative stuff and like getting straight to the point and not going off on tangents. Whereas you
Ricochet, right? Come on, like do I have to explain it?
Or whereas this right here is like it could be.
How do we ever talk about anything? Honestly,
it just gives you a lot to talk about. Yeah.
But like no, I will say for sure like WAF really did do well on the DN episode, kind of leading that, because it was kind of an episode where like I wanted there to be a lot of information, but WAF had more of that than I did, so I was like, okay, WAF, you take it, and he did a good job. And I think that like if I had to go on vacation again, he could easily record and do at least an okay job doing all the crazy Brendan stuff, like hello everybody, welcome to the podcast, welcome to the news, and all that stuff.
I could try,
and we did do that switch roles thing, and he did a lot better than he would have done in episode 14.
That is very true. There was another episode where I also did it completely alone, where you didn't even put a message in. I can't remember what episode that was, but like it was a little bit better, but I still wasn't think it was that great.
I mean, I don't know if I listened to that one though, because I think I was just so busy. I think the time that it happened, I was just so busy at a point in my life that I just didn't even have time. I was just like, okay, let's just hope that one gets out there and it's fine. Because I've been, a lot of the times I haven't been listening to a lot of the episodes because I've just been so busy, and I've just been like, I mean, if I'm part of them, I don't need to listen.
Right. I used to listen to every single episode just to see how I'm improving and whatnot. Right. But I eventually got to a point where like I made it, and I'm also editing the video version of it, so I really don't need to hear it again.
Yeah. For me, I know where I am. I know I am what I am. Okay, I don't need to listen to know where I am. I'm here. I talk to you guys. I make the silly jokes. I talk about the llamas. I mean, you know what I'm gonna do.
I bring the facts and keep things somewhat sane.
Somewhat sane for sure.
I love how you didn't need to wait for you to finish the word, but you knew what I was gonna say. You knew exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, exactly. I did. But yeah, that's. I mean, I don't even know where we are. I think we were on episode 14, right? I just want to give you guys a little bit of that information though through all the episodes. So 14. I mean, and then things kind of like I don't really remember a lot after 14. Besides the fact that we talked about Marvels, but then we hit 24 with Greg Woods. 24 with
Greg Woods. That's I listened to that again.
That was like the step up from Melicus, and that was so huge.
I really wish we could redo an episode because it was so obvious. We were so nervous. We were not talking a whole lot at all, and I was significantly less outgoing, so I didn't talk much at all. Like, if we could redo that episode with our experience now, it would have been so much better. But even then, even as it is, it's still a great episode just because Greg is amazing. There was also the Discord issue, where Discord was having server issues, and we had to restart recording 3 times. Oh my god,
it must have pissed them off so much, bro. I do want to get Greg back on, maybe 124. You want to go for? No, I'm serious.
124. 124. If you want to aim for it, let's do it.
No, I want to get him back on because I want to be where I am now, a much more mature and comfortable podcaster, and be able to be like and have him on and have a real show with him too. So.
Yeah, and then we got the end as well. I like to call it basically every 25 episodes is kind of like a season, and basically 25 was a big deal because like for one thing we didn't think we would make it to that point, and so we made a big deal about it. Like we actually got Piney to record. I'm sorry. I was looking at our recording instead of thinking about recording, but no, like Piney actually helped to make. Oh, well, first of all, mention Flair. Flair, he did such a great job. Like he went and helped gather like his favorite clips.
From all the past 25, and we never did that again because that took so long.
Yeah, we couldn't do it again. Oh. And then Piney, like she never animated before, but she offered to do it, and she put a lot of work in, and like while she did do it, she offered to do it free. I don't think I ever told you this, but I actually did ultimately pay her because like
What'd you pay her?
I think it came out to like what 600 because like it was.
You paid her $600.
Did you not? She put in so.
Bro.
I worked out. I went with minimum wage if possible. And she agreed with that for the amount of hours she worked, and that's how much.
You actually shelled out $600.
At minimum wage, yeah. So that should tell you how many hours she worked. So many hours on that. She put in several.
No,
hours.
I know she put in a lot of work. And Piney, if you do hear this, like, oh my god, like those animations still blow me away. They're extremely good. They're extremely just like they're well crafted. They go with the audio very well. I mean, there was a reason I didn't pay you, and that's because I didn't have any money.
Yeah,
okay?
you were literally going into college and like you were going to be paying it for it all on your own. You had no
And
disposable
I'm still
income.
doing that, by the way.
I had disposable income, and it's like, okay, you know what? I feel bad, so I did that, and like, and at that point, like, I basically, as that episode was being made, I was kind of actually becoming better friends, like with Piney, talking to their lads. So you know, okay, like, you know, you're pretty cool. I know you're my friend, so I'll help you
Here's
out.
$600.
Because like,
Take it and run it.
that's before COVID. Like she also was gonna do like an art camp thing with a bunch of, and then they got canceled. It's like, well, that sucks. Like COVID messed up a lot of stuff.
No, for sure, and we'll get to that. But
It was a really good episode. Yeah, I think it deserved it.
oh my God,
like
yeah. If
all
you
the
haven't
credit.
seen,
Like
I mean, also basically kind of did what we'd hear, but on a smaller scale, where we kind of reminisced because like it felt like such a big deal to get to 25 for us.
it was a big. That's a
It
quarter
is.
of 100. Like, that is a relatively big deal, and so that was like our first milestone, and so it was reminiscing by going through funny clips from the old episodes. And if you haven't seen it, go watch it on the YouTube. The animations are great. Our voices still are suck from the first 20 episodes, but
our voices still are suck.
yeah, exactly. But the animations are amazing and they're worth watching. I want to do that again for like sometime in the future and just somehow arrange the episodes between all the loyal listeners to have them listen back to like 3 and pick their favorite clips and then pay Piney like $1,000 to animate all of them, just so we can get Piney's animations along with actual really solid podcasting. But that's such a big project. It just scares me to even say it, so I may not do that.
It would be a massive undertaking to get all those clips and like what episode would we do that for? That's the big question. Like, would we do it for the last one? Because like we don't know when that's gonna happen. We don't know how that would happen. Like, it's like there is
podcast ends if I die. It does.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I think that's basically what the kind of how it is. If Marble Sports dies, or if
Marble
we
guy
die.
dies.
Yeah,
it's over. If WAF dies, I probably wouldn't continue, or at least I would take a year off.
I would definitely sit and think about it, but like if you died, but I don't think I could do it without you, because like we are synonymous with this show. We represent like what this show is. Like if either one of us is gone, I feel like it would just be completely. It wouldn't be the MSW podcast.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be like you can't just have me and you can't just have WAF. You need like Marble and WAF. Or Brendan and WAF, even though I'm Marble guy in my non-GD stuff.
Yeah. I guess episode 25. I put
non-Marble stuff.
I put the Wolf tune again as the end the end credit, and that kind of started the trend. Like, okay, so special episodes, I'm gonna very least gonna do one new Wolf tune for
fun.
every special episode, and there's gonna be one. There'll be one for this one too. I'll announce at the end, but like, but yeah.
The end when when will that come?
When will that? Honestly, jeez.
So that's 25. We're at 25 right now. There's 75 more to go.
And that was what I dubbed the end of season 1, because it was just such a monument. Like we delayed episode 25 for several weeks. I think it was even over a month, just because we wanted to get all the animations that we wanted to done. We wanted it to air sometime in December specifically. I can't remember why. I think it was because but we had a specific deadline day that we set for ourselves.
We just wanted it to be before the end of the year, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got it all finished and we released it, and like that's so monumental. Like, okay, that's like basically because you know what, that's like basically like a season, and then we went into what I call season 2, and while audio wise and I think experience wise it was definitely better than season 1. I feel like I still have those. It's probably nostalgia too. Like I still like think season 1 is better than season 2. Like season 2 was just kind of like that.
Well, season 1 had more memorable moments.
It was also during Marble League when it was happening. I think
Marble League's better than all the other ones.
Yeah, I think it started again roughly near the end of season 2, but season 2 kind of didn't really have as much Marble content. We just kind of like, but back then we could still like ramble on about random things that happened. So it's like we could keep going, but like it definitely felt less focused, and like it didn't have like all those like it didn't have like that newness to it. Like because we had every guest we could ever think of, you know, like Malekith, that president of the JMRC.
Oh, you're bringing up things I'm about to that are really helpful for as I present the next part of the journey. And I don't know, WAF just said it, so I just wanted to catch it as WAF said it. Season 1, first want to say, and a lot of memorable moments. The Mist episode, the Just WAF episode, the Marble Chaos Theory, the beginning, the Piney, the Malekith, the Greg, like, a lot of memorable things. Season 2 was hard, because Season 2 was it was the start of the podcast not having any other new things on the horizon and not for a while,
Mm-hmm.
but us still not really having the experience to easily cover an hour and
Right.
15 every single time, because we weren't comfortable enough with all the topics. And also, JMR was at a downturn. JMR had its longest lack of content as season 2 began. It went like 2-3 months without posting anything. No Sandmar Rally, because Marbula 1 was still in the works.
Right.
So that delayed them to post any content for a few months. So we were very, very low on stuff for a while. We kind of went off the rails for a little bit. So all that together was the reason that I initiated the search for the half host, which actually started about episode 30.
I thought it started roughly. It started in season 3, if I'm not mistaken. Like it was in season 3, roughly the beginning of season 3, that we did the half host searching. You probably had the idea, but you didn't initiate the search until after season 2 had finished.
We didn't have our first half host until.
I'm dead serious.
Can someone check that? I mean, Kaysen, do you happen to know when the first half host episode was?
Half host,
the
I
tryouts.
think tryouts are around like 28 maybe, but
Really?
then the first actual,
Am I just misremembering
Yeah.
everything? Let me see here.
wait, tryout,
Keep talking, Brendan, while I look this up, because we don't want to have too much dead air.
Dead air. How's that and Marble Guy fit in the same sentence? Okay, for whatever it is though, the idea did begin.
You're right. Half host tryouts started in season 2. You're absolutely right.
And when did the first half host episode begin?
If I'm not mistaken, 28 was with Wolves. Oh no, sorry, it was 20. It was 29. Oh, that's right. Yeah, 29 half host tryouts with Wolves. Oh, those tryouts too. Oh wait, so it started. What the heck? When did it? What the heck? When did it happen?
I don't know. Okay, so I'll just talk over this as Waff figures out from informations. I had the idea around when the Greg episode happened, a little bit after, because of all those reasons I just mentioned. A lot of dead stuff from JMR. Me and Waff weren't confident enough to hold a whole episode right now, and I just wanted to keep the podcast going, and things were kind of the newness was wearing off, so it was like we were still pushing, but we needed a new angle. We needed something new, so that's why that started, because I was like, let's bring a third voice on to kind of round it out. 27 was the first one. And so that began then, and MFA and Wolves, of course, were the two different ones that tried out, and we chose Wolves not because he was way better, just because we thought he fit a little bit better chemistry-wise, chemistry is really hard to balance and measure.
We also
with a
did a poll
podcast.
for it too.
We did a poll. We did a poll. Oh, I remember. No, I thought Wolves was slightly better chemistry-wise.
Yeah,
I will say that.
I would
feel like
say
I can
yes.
say that now. But we did do a poll as well, and it was hard for me, though. It was really hard for me, because when I was picking Wolves, because obviously the poll ended up picking, whoever won the poll was going to be it. It wasn't my decision. It was the poll's decision. But when I was coming up with my opinion, I had to think about the chemistry of the three people and not just the chemistry with me. And I thought MFA and me had more chemistry than Wolves and me. But I need to think about how do all three of us work together. And through the three, I think Wolves was slightly a little bit more chemistry. Both half hosts were really helpful and kind of spoke at the right times and said the right things and brought different angles. Like Wolves kind of more indulged my silly side. He would kind of comment on that a little more. MFA brought a lot of very exciting new topics, and that's why I was a big fan of MFA for a while during the half hosting, because I was like, you're bringing things that I didn't even thought of, and then he would spark really good debates and discussions. The actual answer, the actual response, because actually season 2 was pretty boring as far as stuff that happened. We had Melikis on and maybe one more time, I forget.
One more.
But the reason the half host thing ended not because I didn't like my half host, was because I just felt like me and Waff really grew enough as podcasters where we did a better job without having to manage a third voice, no matter if it was MFA or Wolves or anybody else, anybody else on the planet. Would not have added anything. It was just me and Waff. So
yeah, and it just happened like Wolves' equipment was not how kind of busted down. He wasn't gonna buy and he wasn't really instantly buying a new computer to come back again. So it was so he wasn't planning on returning, and then so we brought MFA in as kind of a stand-in for a while. But then we tried it for a while, and we realized during season 3 early on. And then we kind of realized actually no, I think this was this actually near the tail end of season 4? No. It was definitely
No, it was season 3. Like,
So we figured out like we realized like this is just not working. It was either the beginning of season 4. I think it was when this happened. It was the beginning, near the very beginning of season 4, where like we were testing out with MFA as the new half host, and it was like. And that's when we realized that we didn't like when we created it. It was because we thought we needed another person to help out, but then we got.
But then
so much
we
better.
would have episodes where MFA couldn't make it or something, and we do it alone, and then I would realize, wait, we're fine now.
Yeah,
We know
exactly.
what we're doing now. We got this. And so like I hate to like you have used like MFA or Wolves as like, oh, you were just kind of like training
Right.
wheels for us. But I didn't know that was going to be how it ended up being. I didn't know that. I thought when the half host idea came to me, I was like, okay, this is just a show now. And so it was kind of like. It was just like how the chemistry worked out. You know, you mix things together and you don't know what's going to happen. So it was just kind of something that like it ended up working out in a specific way. And it doesn't mean those people can't come on the show anymore as long as they remind me they can guest on any time. So it's not like, you know, it's just that like the half host thing, that position, no matter who was filling it, was not necessary anymore. So
I realized we completely skipped over a very important person in season 1. So in season 1, like we were looking for an audio editor to help lighten our load.
Oh, yeah.
And one person proposed to it, and I heard their first sample like edit of our episode, and I think I realized like because it's in an episode like, oh, I edited
Wimith.
this podcast. Yeah,
Wimith,
yeah,
right?
Wimith is like I don't think Wimith actually had any audio experience, and like
He just said he did.
But they wanted to help, and I appreciate it, but it didn't work out. But then the next week, JM joined us, and my word, JM did an absolutely phenomenal job.
Oh, I love JM. JM is in the live chat. I love
He's
you,
in
buddy.
he's in the live chat. Shout out JM.
I'm gonna unmute JM. JM, say something right now. Say something like, just say anything.
Something.
Thank you, JM.
Thanks,
All right, I'm gonna
JM.
mute him.
You're welcome.
Oh, he just keeps cutting him off.
No, I just cut him off because,
Okay.
because his message will be heard probably
That's
in the
true,
part 2. He recorded a message.
Yeah, about you know, looking at it, we're almost actually at 2 hours, so like maybe a part 2 might not be a bad idea.
Oh,
but
I knew it. It's happening.
but like JM, like,
JM walked so Esmin and I could run.
but for like JM, like he was here all the way up, and I think he was all the way into season 3, if I'm not mistaken. Like yeah, like he had helped so much. Like he was like he made our lives easier because we didn't have to do any audio editing anymore. But he also like he added his own flair to it, like adding in some jokes every now and again, like adding with like and like it was like JM like just he helped bring the quality of the show to the next level, and like I'm just so glad that. Yeah, 65, 60. He was basically near the beginning of season 3 when he ultimately left, and that like it is a shame, but like we do also have like, but I understand like, you know, like life happens, and like it's important to move on, like, and we were fortunate enough to
It
have
is important to move on sometimes. For
we,
sure.
we were definitely fortunate to have Kaysen and S-Man to be who are just so passionate about the show to help us out in that time, like so quickly after he left, like because like it's like we didn't have the so like it was a fairly smooth transition, fortunately for us, and like we've been so blessed with so many incredible people. JM, Kaysen,
We're gonna do this.
S-Man,
We're gonna do this sentimental moment for sure now. Actually,
like without any promise of pay or anything, like or like even like or promise of this being like truly successful, like enough to actually make money.
hey, we're almost at 500 subs. We're getting there. And
Jack
maybe
Jack
one day.
Ironhide.
Oh my God, Jack Ironhide.
His real name is actually Diego, and like he
Diego, that's a fun name.
He created all the art, like almost all the art minus some of the more recent news and designs. I actually made most of those all the new stuff that happened in the recent new stuff. That was all me, but like everything else,
Like the marble personas for
the marble
each of
personas,
the people.
the desk.
They're so good.
I created
exactly. They're
so
so
I
good.
found like a desk PNG, like it was like a real life desk, and I put him behind. Like, okay, this looks kind of clashing. They like, hey, Alasia, can your brother make this look better? And he's like, he just sent me that. It's like perfect.
I'm like,
this is beautiful.
Nailed it.
Amazing. Just thank you all to all of you. We're probably like if we're gonna do part 2. We're probably just gonna thank you again.
We're gonna thank you again. We're gonna thank you again and again.
We're gonna hear your
again.
messages. And Wolves. Like I unfortunately wasn't able to hear back from Wolves, but Wolves, like thank you if you're hearing this. Like you're amazing. And I'm glad that we had our time on the show. I'm sorry it didn't work out, but I hope you're doing great. And like, man, like thank Piney again. Animations fantastic. Loved them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, like. And just thank you to our guests for coming on. Like,
Thank you to every guest, every
Every
single one of
guest.
you who come on and like added some newness to the show. Because if we had no guests, then it would have been too samey, right? But we have guests, and I tried to make it real, like scheduled, where we always had a guest every other week. That never worked.
Yeah.
But we do have a guest often. We have it about 30 to 50% of the episodes, between there somewhere.
roughly.
Yeah. And it's just for me, the editing thing's so big. And we're gonna talk about the news right after this, because I realized we glossed over that. I forget when the first news episode.
You did! I'm sorry, Johnny! I'm sorry!
I did not forget, but we were focusing on a different path. There's so many different paths that happen during the show. Without editors, this wouldn't happen. We're not doing, like, if S-Man and Kaysen quit today, we're done. Like, because I physically just don't have.
I'll see myself out.
Dude, do not. Because I physically don't have the time to both record this show and prepare for the show, which, I don't prepare a ton. I don't write a million notes, but I do prepare a little bit. I am aware of what I want to talk about. I'm not completely foolish, even though I do ricochet shot.
Just gotta throw that in there, and you'll have your episode.
Yeah, let's savage speed into the next one. Let's raspberry race into the next segment.
It's time to stop.
Let's snowball right through the
Stop.
rest of this episode.
And probably say
Bob
it to
can
your
now look me
face.
in the eyes and be like, shut up. Like, it's just, like, the fact that you guys were like, you know what? I'll edit. And I'll edit for you for a while. I'll edit for you for, I guess, for Case and S-Man, like, they're still doing it. They're still doing, like, and for JM for a long time. I'm like, damn, I cannot believe that we've had such kindness, and that's why we're still here. That's why we have this moment. That's why we hit 100. That's why you guys can sit here in the live chat and sit here on the YouTube to you 11 people. Thank you guys for all coming. Alex is cool. Thanks for joining the live chat. It's good to finally see you. We will get to emails. Yes. When we're doing emails, we haven't even gotten there yet. That's why you can sit here, is because of these editors who were like, you know what, Marble Guy, you're not that bad. We'll take a chance. We'll do it. We'll edit for you. All right, and we'll just big thank you to all that. Same for Johnny Marble, man.
We gotta give a highlight to Johnny Marble. He is amazing. Like, so he's given a script, but like he's
gotten so much better too.
He adds so much flair and so much energy. Nearly every time I listen to it, it puts a smile on my face. Like, even when it's like late and he can't scream, he then came up with this smooth Johnny Marble thing. Like,
I love
smooth
that.
Johnny Marble.
Oh my god, that's so good.
And
man.
it's like,
That's
and
so
it's like,
good.
I know exactly what I need to do. I found jazz music, and I got on some sunglasses that somehow fit Jack's art style, and then it's like, this is it. And it's
Yeah, oh my god.
Johnny is like, he adds so much. I love this man. He is amazing.
Yeah, I'm glad. Well, I'm not glad that our first guy disappeared, but I'm glad that things worked out after he disappeared. Let's talk about that before we move on, because actually right after the news discussion, and we're really coming towards where we are right now, since there's not really as many special new things to talk about in the third and fourth seasons as much, because that's when we really established ourselves finally, and we really had all the things.
Right.
But we'll get that. But that's be a good time to talk about how the trivia segment and the emails came to be, because those were more later on. But the news started actually very early. The first news segment. Do you remember what episode? Kaysen?
It was 5.
What? Sorry?
It was 5. Because
It was 5.
Sorry, no, I'm sorry. It was 4. It was 4 because what happened was who was the first one? What was his name again?
Didn't MFA do the first one?
MFA did the second one. I think he was this. I think MFA filled in.
You mean John Wood?
Yeah, John Wood went first. Then he disappeared. And I think
No, John Wood did. No, John Wood wasn't the first one though.
MFA did the first one.
Someone else did the first, either MFA or I think MFA did the first one, but then I was like, I need better mic quality. So
And then
that's when
then it was John Wood.
I opened up to tryouts, and actually after, okay, here, let me tell you stories, because I'm gonna tell you a little behind the scenes, a little behind the little Did You Know Marble Sports podcast. The news segment came to me because I was like, okay, I have a show and I talk for a lot. But maybe there's some people who are just going to be like, oh, I just want to know what's happening in the world of Marble Sports, and that's it. And so the news segment was to accommodate those people who are just like, I just want to pop in for a sec, be like, oh, wait, okay, that's going on, good. And then they don't want to hear me break it down. They just want to go. They just want to hear it. So that's how I came up with the idea. It actually came out a lot earlier than I remember, but I guess it was like episode 4. And so I was like, someone record it. I don't want it to be my voice because my voice, like, then it would not make much sense because the news is by the same guy who's not doing the weird. So I was like, I had MFA do it because he didn't sound bad when he did it. And he did it fine. And I think I had him do it because I had another guy do it who actually sounded good as well. His Discord name was Suko Korea. I still remember this to this day. And he did it, but I think he either did it or said he was good, or did like a sample, but like never could do it again. Either got busy or got disinterested really fast. I think a little bit of both. And so I had MFA do it, but then I was like, okay, I really want to up this. So I really put it out there to the whole, I think I put a Reddit post even, I need a news guy. If you want to do news, contact me. We'll do tryouts. I was like, let's just see. Then I was blown away by who I actually got. Waff you actually tried out for the news.
I did, but I didn't feel confident. I was like, I'll just do it just in case.
Commander Waff tried out for the news because I don't even think he tried out. It was like he was just a guest at the point. He wasn't really like in the scope of coach yet. So we tried out, and he did okay. He was no Johnny Marble.
No one. There's no.
I'm no Johnny Marble.
No one's Johnny Marble.
I'm not even close. You're not even close. There's no one as Johnny Marble. But him, someone else, I think like someone like Flair or Nugget or something like that did like a tryout, or John Ball or like MFA. And then there was John Wood, who's professional sounding English guy, and Johnny Marble, who both brought two different energies. John Wood was very professional and sounded like BBC News. Johnny Marble, hello Marble. You know how it sounds. He's amazing. Just go back in the episode and listen. You know what he sounds like. He's great. And I picked John Wood first because I wanted the more professional style at first. For some reason, I just wanted that. He just disappeared after one episode. He was all about it. He was like, this is fun. He recorded for me. It was great. Then the next week, he just didn't answer. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I got the guy from Texas or Kansas or wherever he's from. And I was like, can you just do it? And then he did it. He did it for whatever episode
guy from Texas?
No. I forget. I thought Johnny Marble was from Texas for the longest time.
Yeah, but he's not. Like I guess talking about the news, like a lot of all the things I have with the news, like in terms of like the news animations, like I did 99% of that all on my own in terms of like coming up with that idea. Like it's like, you know what, there should be a visual aspect, and then I made the first iteration, and I got Jack to give me the artwork for the desk and like the background gradient that I wanted. And then it's like, and then like someone kind of, I can't remember his name. It was but they proposed like an idea of like how to make it better, like their own version of how they do the news. And like, while I liked how
Barron and okay, I want to talk about. He did a good job. Waff had been doing the news for a long time at that point, so sometimes you'd get it. And like Barron's wasn't like Barron did a great job, but he didn't do a great enough job where it's like, okay, there's Waffs, and then Barron's looked like you were watching CNN.
Right.
Because, I mean, that would have been. I mean, obviously, then if Barron could do that, he'd be working for CNN. But like he did a really good job. But Waff wanted to stick with his own style. Waff wanted to stick with his own thing, and I'm totally fine with that. I liked Barron, and we kind of talked. Me and him talked a little bit, and he was good. And actually, he started the Marble Hotel website, and we kind of partnered with him. We did a little thing, and we shouted him out and read through his website one episode. So we created decent relations. But that was one of the first times I think Waff got a little upset at something.
Super defensive.
And he got really defensive, and I was like, that's usually me. So it's funny to be like, because I know Waff has been to a lot of times with me over the course of the show where I got defensive, and me and Waff had calls talking things out, and I
was always the voice of reason, trying to keep these.
And then I had to be the voice of reason, like, Waff, dude, it's all right, man.
Yeah, but then we worked it out. But then like he really inspired me. It's like okay, I know but like I can implement these ideas, but in the style that we're used to. And then in that one day, I created all these graphics, and like I made my job 10 times harder than it ever needed to be, just because I wanted to. And
it's a great segment. It really is.
And I hope you guys love it. It's like. It takes the majority of the time editing I make that separate, and then I gotta render that and like get it all to work, because like it's crazy like how much effort we put into this thing at this point, you know?
Yeah, no, it's quite a bit. And to go back on the news, it's just crazy to me that Johnny Marble, he stayed for over 90 episodes. He did news for over 90 episodes. That's ridiculous. But he did it. And he's still doing it today. He's still going strong. And I just think that's so cool. That's like as important as the editing thing. Like the fact that he's stayed on so long, just like our editors did, and really kind of just invested in the show.
And not only that, but in 2 days is Johnny's 2-year anniversary on the show.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Oh.
So yeah, we're talking about a lot of people like I think now's a good time to actually just move into like the messages, and we can actually start with Case, and because he's live here, it's like just like talking about, because like we're talking about like, you know, the people who have joined us and stuff. And I think this is a great time to pass the mic over to Case and finally to let him like kind of voice.
I want all the
his
messages
thoughts.
to be in like one segment though. So let's wrap up the story.
So
We're only on like episode 50.
I thought we delved into the 3 and 4, didn't we? I thought we said there's not really much to say.
There's not really much to say, but there's still something to say.
Okay, okay.
Let me wrap that up for us then.
All right,
The only other 2 things, and we're going to talk about these more when we actually do these parts of this show, email and trivia. So hold off on that, because those were 2 different ideas, and we'll get to those. But those ones we'll pass over. Those were ideas. I forget. I think the emails were not until like season 3 or 4. But
we got our first email. Actually, before the email segment existed, it was episode 12.
Episode 12.
Someone sent an email to us.
Oh yeah. I remember that was. I think that one was the one from one of my real life friends. Who didn't. I didn't tell them the email. They just did because for fun. And so we read that, and I was like, dude, wouldn't it be cool if more people emailed? But we didn't institute that for a long time.
Right. Yeah.
The trivia was. I'll get to that. It was kind of just an idea I had about when things were getting slower on the show. But besides that, things kind of tabled out a little bit. Like episode 50, of course, remember, was the one with Fletcher and Marble It Up. So that was also a memorable, fun episode.
I thought that was 75.
That's 50. Pretty sure it's 50.
Then what was 75's finale?
Nothing.
Was it nothing?
I don't know. Well, let's go look together.
Hold
you guys
on.
on the YouTube, you'll watch me pull up SoundCloud.
Surely
on
we
the
did
computer.
something, right? I know I did a Wolf tune. I did a lot of, dude, season 3's finale, there was so many Wolf tunes
so
back
many.
to back. I don't know what I was doing.
Let's go to tracks. 50 was definitely Marble It Up. I wouldn't forget.
I could have sworn Marble It Up was 50. Yeah, you're right. So then what the heck was 75?
75 is just called Momentum.
Momentum.
Oh, yeah, I think 75, I guess we just didn't
It was
care about
just
it.
GP2.
Yeah.
We really didn't do that. Huh.
All right. Well, I don't know. But yeah, 50 was Marble It Up. We had a couple other good guests on over the time. But things kind of were that. The only other notable thing about the whole experience from 50 to, I mean, really from 30 to about now, was my journey outside of the show, but still within Marble Sport. But, okay, so this one's also a me thing for the most part. And Waff might be able to interject here a couple times, or maybe even Kaysen will, but this is mostly me. But between episodes about 30 and about 100 and now, a lot of other stuff happened regarding me and Marble Sports that isn't podcast related, but still did have an effect in what I could talk about in my relationships in the community. Most of you guys know Fubeca, Marble Fubeca. I joined their situation because I wanted to. Okay, I guess I have to do this, dude.
Well, we can skip drama if we want to. Because drama has never been what we wanted to focus on.
I won't go in deep into the drama because the Fubeca drama, episode 56. I'll never forget the number. If you want the full Fubeca drama, go listen to episode 56. That is a pretty damn good one. The Dion drama that was recent, episode 94. Yeah, there you go. So there you can go do that one too for the Dion drama that's recent. But here's the basic story. After X Camo and the podcast started, by midsummer, towards the end of summer, it had been like almost a year I was in Marble Sports, and I felt that I was putting enough into the community that I deserved to be a part of the JMRC, and that was a bad attitude to have.
Yeah.
Waff can say, look at see Waff being like,
it was very bad.
But I just felt that. I was like, I'm doing a freaking podcast. Why can't I be a part of the community? I have all these great ideas. And I did have a lot of good ideas. I'm not going to undersell my ideas because I usually have really good ideas. I will say that. But it doesn't matter how good your ideas are if you don't create a nice sense of respect for other people and you have some patience and you realize that it's not always about about your ideas and and thinking that yours are great, and it's about other things besides that. Especially when working on a committee, it's about listening more than it is anything else, and learning that. Of course, that was a big thing I learned over the last few years, and listening, letting things go, listening, letting other people speak. That I don't know everything. All those kinds of things I kind of learned over the past couple of years. But Melicus and Minty and Nugget and a few other people in the community, I just want to give a big thanks to them right now. I don't know how many of them will hear this. And you know who you are if I don't remember your name. Through the incident with Melicus before Fubeca, there was a little incident because I kind of pissed him off. But then, and through Fubeca, where I made a lot of bad decisions, there was a lot. Waff also being one of those people. I didn't mention him because he's right here. I just figured it's implied. Waff, Minty, Melicus, Nugget, even a couple others that I just don't remember. They were so huge in kind of redirecting me in the right path, in the way of thinking that I should have, and calming me down, trying to make me not rush too much, things like that. So, I mean, it was just really nice to have them there. If they weren't there giving me some advice and talking things through with me, I don't know if I would have ended up as good as now. So just big thank you to them. Big thank you to all the people who helped with the Algodoo League, which lasted about 5 episodes. And that I'll just touch on for a second. This was about right when Melicus and me had I pissed him off. So this is chronological. This is canon in the story. This is chronological. Right after about that moment where I kind of separated a little bit from Melicus, and I think he blocked me for a little bit too, and it was a while before we worked things out. I started the Algodoo League thinking like, okay, well, if I can't be JMRC, I'll make my own shit. And the Algodoo League was pretty creative. I really was like, I looked at all the Algodoo stuff. I was like, well, this is always just the black with the blue background. Let me do something different with new colors and different ideas. And it ended up okay. And actually, Jack Ironhide did all the marble designs.
Ooh,
you didn't know that?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Oh, so yeah, it's just been so long. I forgot.
And if you don't watch the Algodoo League, because there's not really any point to it. It was good, but it wasn't that good.
I really liked it.
You really liked it?
Yeah, like watching it for the first time, I think it was the Battle Ring was the first event. Dude, I had never seen Algodoo to that level.
Yeah, no, that was the point of it. And we'll talk about something that broke down in some event. Don't say it yet. We're getting there. Battle Ring was my favorite event because that was like, okay, that had a lot of action and a lot of good ideas. I really pushed Algodoo code to the max there, or at least the max that I could understand at the point. I was so excited. The 1v1 race was actually event 1. That one also I was really happy with how the colors turned out. The problem is it just took so much editing and work from my end, and I just wasn't. It wasn't like I didn't get viral as I wanted to, and like I didn't do it to get viral. I really enjoyed it, but it was just so much work. I just I didn't have time. I had school going on and tons of other stuff, and it ended up dying away for that reason. And COVID happened, so it died. That killed it a little too, but. The point was I wanted to take Algodoo to the next level, add some more color, add some more ideas with the battle ring where the marbles had to go in and fight each other, and it had code set so that they hit parts of the ring, they disappear or bounce higher or acceleration, all that kind of stuff on the marbles. And go watch the Algodoo League. You'll see how well the marbles are designed in episode 1. Mm-hmm. You'll also see some of the good events. I would say that every event is good except for
roulette. Roulette is the worst thing in marble sports I have ever watched.
Apparently, it was really boring. I was really excited about it for a minute because I loved the theme of. I was thinking more about how much I enjoyed the casino theme, but I didn't think about how boring roulette was to watch. Waff watched that. He said to me immediately, dude, this sucks.
I'm honest.
This is what you've been working on for the last 2 weeks? Dude.
That followed up Battle Ring, too. It was like, you went from that to this.
Yeah.
It's like...
Was Blackjack bad, though? I thought Blackjack was good.
It was okay.
Yeah, Blackjack. That was when I took it too far visually, where I was more caring about the visuals and the
it was
theming.
It was visual overload.
Yeah, and less about the actual action of the marbles.
What was the one that had like it was like the obstacle course. It had like Wolf and Brendan like eating at the
and that was like Chewy Chung's Chinese takeout or something.
Yeah, so I like that. That was a fun
that one was fun. I
love
that was actually the most recent one.
And like the mystery box where you couldn't see the marbles.
Oh, I loved that idea. That was a good idea, right?
Yeah.
That's why our cameras
validate me,
really
Kason. I'm trying to find I'm trying to find all the. Is there like a thing that has? I guess had it coming soon.
Yeah, coming soon of it. I think the reason why the camera didn't load on the Discord, by the way, is because the camera source is wrong. That's probably why. It's probably set to your laptop computer or something, the camera or something.
I don't know. I'd have to check. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
go
really
to the freaking YouTube, guys. Come on.
You've ruined the reveal anyways. It doesn't matter.
Also,
Alex in the YouTube chat mentions like 72 was Richard. I think that means the first email was from Richard in 72.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we'll get back to emails in a sec. But yeah, so the Algodu thing, I forget what Event 4 was. Casey, maybe you can go check that out and shout it. But yeah, so those were the events, and Time Gauntlet was good, and so was I love the first two as well. I forget what 4 was Hide and Seek. I remember that, and that on, that one was pretty damn good. Like that had like the marbles chasing each other, and it had a little gravity thing set so they would attract to each other. There was a lot of really good ideas there. It was just that like. I don't know. I never fleshed it out. I never finished it. I kind of really killed it with Roulette Wheel. There's a roulette is trash emoji in a server. It's really funny.
I'm just gonna be honest. When I was thinking about doing this episode, I completely forgot to actually think about MSWAL. I completely forgot about it.
Yeah, MSW, and actually, that was another logo done by the great Kung Ku, who did the logo. I guess I should talk. I'll touch on this quickly too. We're touching everything.
Oh yeah, our logo, our server logo. Yeah,
our server logo.
We didn't thank Kung
that's like
Ku.
a whole topic. I can't believe we forgot. This is why we're doing 2 parts. And this one's gonna be cut down, but this one's gonna be super long. Then you have the part 2, which is. We're doing 2 parts. Okay. Server logo. Okay, am I done with the Algodu League? Yeah, the Algodu League ended after episode 5 when COVID hit, and I couldn't have the school equipment I needed for editing that. And then by the time I got my monitor and my laptop that I have now, I was already moved on to doing Geometry Dash streaming, which I'm still doing now, and I'm enjoying a lot more than editing the Algodu videos. So before I touch on Fubeca, which is the last thing really, the logo. Let's touch on that for a sec. The logo... I had the idea very early, and Kanku was not the first designer of the graphic designer of the logo. I don't know if I still have the old. Is she still in the? Let me see if she's still in the server.
I think she is. Yeah. Apparently, Kason actually had to go because we were taking so long, and fair enough.
Well, do Kason record a message or no?
I don't think so because he's planning to be here, but he can do that for post, I guess.
Yeah, tell him to just record a message. Tell him I'm really sorry. I mean, like, thank him for being here for the few words he did put in. We'll put those will be in the episode.
Unfortunately, he didn't get to say as much as I would have liked, but
it would be at graphic designer. Like I want to see. Wait, let me go to the Discord. So I'm gonna find the person. So this is the first person that did the
graphic designer. I can't remember what her name is. Just type search in the search bar. Okay.
And then graphic designer. Her name is Jaya Dub on Discord. If I click on her name, I can't. So Jaya Dub. She actually made the first. I drew out the design. And of course, you guys know the design. It's a marble speaking into a mic. And that was my clever little idea. So she made the first draft, and I'll probably try. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I actually have it. Look. All right. I'm going to put this into the MSWP live chat so people can see that. If you're on the Discord, definitely join the Discord if you haven't. I'm putting that thing. Yes, Fubeca is still running a YouTube live chat. Live chat. We'll talk about that. All right, so this was the first draft of the logo by not Tim, and it was not even bad. It was a nice little simple marble with the microphone, and it just we never were able to finish it and pan it out. And then Tim just came in with the amazing one that he got that was just leaps and bounds better than anything I'd ever seen. And I was like, damn, dude, that's just so cool. So that became our logo. The MSW wall logo was just letters, and that was done by him. And then you guys know the current logo of the server is actually just Marble Sports Worldwide, because when I started the Algodu League, I wanted to just be Marble Sports Worldwide, which had both the podcast and the Algodu League, because I thought I was going to continue that for more than one season. So, I mean, I just kept it anyway, because we don't really do other stuff, but just in case. But that logo is just a marble. But the cat side of the marble is shaped like an S for sports, and then the white world map on the front is for worldwide. So it kind of infused all that into one simple marble-based logo. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I love the cleverness of that one. But those were all designed by Tim, and they're amazing. Mm-hmm. Man, I'm going to need a break after this first part, but let's get through the Fubeca stuff. Last thing, I have to talk about this because this is so big. I joined Fubeca because I wasn't able to do anything with JMR as far as JMRC goes, and I wanted to be a part of making marble sports reality. I also love doing broadcasting. I don't want to say loved because I still love it, and I'm still doing it now. Getting paid for it is great for marbles and other stuff. I love it. And so the opportunity to do like commentary for Fubeca, because he was open to it for the English channel, was just sound like amazing to me. There's a lot for that. Go to episode 56, please, if you want to hear more about that. The basis of that is I worked for him for a while. I actually then arose to be the president of a committee where we actually gave him ideas. He wasn't as responsive to the ideas as JMR would be, though then Dion. He wasn't as responsive as old JMR would have been or other channels would have been. He also had the language barrier. He only spoke Portuguese. So we had to Google Translate a lot. But I did love doing the commentary. You can hear at the beginning of Marble Champions, which started the drama, of course. No, not Marble Champions. Marble Circuits, which started the drama between Marbula 1 and Marble Circuits. A different drama, episode 56. That was my first commentary. It's super cringy compared to now. Like now, like I think I'm pretty good, but then I was not. So, but I still got paid. I did a lot of work for Fubeca for the little bit of payment he was giving me, and I was getting ripped off, and I just didn't know it. But the Fubeca thing went on for a while. It got a lot of hate from other members of JMR because they saw that as being a traitor. I was working for the competing channel, so that's how me and Beta Wolves kind of fell out, and me and a couple other people, who most of which we've all made up. But then I left Fubeca basically because in one of the videos it was pointed out that I was already a little upset that I wasn't getting paid a lot, and I was doing a ton. I was editing videos and doing commentary for him weekly. But I left Fubeca because the final straw that broke the camel's back was that he had his hand appeared in one of the videos touching the marbles. So it was just a dishonesty thing. There was a lot of pressure already on me about that working for them. And I just decided to leave. A lot more of that in episode 56 for the 100th time. Melicus, Minty, a lot of some other members, WAF, all big help in talking me through that whole situation with all the drama there. And finally, when I left that, I felt better. I got lucky enough, or providence of God, I landed 2 new gigs, Races and Fun, channel that I love doing commentary for. His stuff is so simple and nice to watch with the 1v1 racing. It's great. I love it. Races and Fun, big channel. And then also do the Racing Marble League, which you guys probably have watched and have talked about. They are amazing. The creativity is through the freaking roof. They make just really fun content. And I'm really enjoying where I am commentary wise now. I also commentated for a different thing for a little while, but that's kind of falling through, and it still might come back, but we'll see. Not going to go into that. That brings us about to today. That brings us about to where we started talking about episode 100 and started talking about the fact that we've been this far, and WAF coming up here to see me, and just the journey, the actual drama of all the times I had phone calls with WAF because of the Fubeca incident, all the times I've talked with different members of the Marble Sports server because of all the drama I kind of created, all the different people that have been a part of making this thing a possibility, making, the news, the editing, the ideas, WAF, guests, I mean, all of it. It's crazy. It's crazy that it's all happening. It's crazy that WAF's sitting in this room with me. I cannot do anything more better to end this the first part, I guess, than to say just again a big thank you to anyone who's ever touched this show. If you're a listener, you're doing a lot, because every time you listen, you make me want to do this again another week. I almost quit this show about 5 times. I quit when we did. Yeah, I quit. I almost quit one time when with me and Melicus, because I got really angry at JMR. I was like, I'm done with this. Oh yeah. So that I almost did, but then I didn't, because me and WAF had some talks, and I was like, I can't quit the show. I almost quit because we didn't have an editor for like a episode, and I was like, no, we need an editor, or I'm not doing this. So if JM's done, I'm done. Maybe it was only 2 times. There's like a couple other times I feel like I thought about quitting, because I was either getting like, is this going anywhere, or am I really enjoying this? But every time that happened, I was always like, okay, well, we have over 100 people that consistently listen to the show. They like this. They want more of this, because they keep putting a view on the YouTube every week. We have editors that are really committed. We have WAF, who is really committed, and like, I got a little wary here and there, but you know what? I'm still going strong. I'm going strong for another 200, for another 100, for
Another
sure.
100.
So just thank you to everyone who's ever touched the show and really made this thing, this community, a reality. We still have a lot of growing to do. Our Discord is not super active, unfortunately, because we don't have a ton of time to do anything else besides record. And, you know, we could always be, every new subscriber is nice on YouTube, so we're hoping to hit 1,000 maybe by the end of this year if we get lucky, if things continue to grow positively. But, you know, there's just a lot coming, and I don't know what's going to bring. I don't know if we'll ever really have that MarbleCon 2025 or, you know, ever have the chance to meet some of you other guys, but keep emailing in, keep engaging with the show, and we'll keep engaging with you. And here's to another good 100 episodes. So, I mean, this is a good time, Waf, if you want to say it, and then you can end it in your usual fashion, and we'll definitely be doing the part 2.
Oh yeah. All right. Roll on to the next part, Marvel sports fans. We can have some intermission music playing here, like do 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 do.